Hi guys, so we are back to do some watercolor painting together of the toucan. So grab your watercolors, I'm sure you've already got them ready, and we're going to take a look at different ways of making these, different shades using two colors. So I just did a couple on my toucan now just to show you. I use this really cool metallic-y kind of watercolors that I love. They're super expensive, but if you really like watercolors, which I do, then it's definitely worth the investment because it produces such beautiful colors. So, all right, guys. So the first thing I would normally do when I am painting on, painting one of my pictures is I would paint my background first. So what you want to do is you want to use a brush that's kind of like this, square, kind of thin, and get it wet. So you can actually even put a bit of water on your paper. If you wanted to brush a little bit of water on there, you could. I'm going to use a bit of blue, and I'm going to start spreading it out. I go really close to my picture, and then I drag it away. So because I made my paper a little bit wet, it's just kind of easier to move around. It's not just dry. So I didn't dip my brush back in the blue paint yet because I don't want it to be too dark, so I'm just kind of using a wet brush and moving around the same paint on there. Okay, so you just go really close up to the image and spread your blue paint around. So it's easier to do your background first than going back in afterwards because there'll be so much color on the toucan that you don't want to drag other colors with it. When you're going close to the leaves, you don't want to be dragging the green. If you've got yellow on there, you don't want to be dragging all those pretty colors in. And then if your blue touches the colors, it will all mix. So we're just going to do this first. It's an easier way. Alright, so fill up your picture as best you can. I'm going to go as quickly as I can here so that you're not kind of waiting for me. But you guys be filling it up too. Be working on all of your blue. You can have some areas be a bit darker, some a bit lighter. You don't want it to look exactly the same over the entire thing. You can see that sometimes I get my color goes over the line a little bit into like where the leaves are. I don't worry too much because I'm going to paint over it anyway with the green, but just spread it out as best as you can. Okay, so we're spreading it around the leaves. It's looking good. And another thing you can do, guys, is if your paper starts to get too wet and it's it's real soggy and you don't like it, what you're going to do is you're just going to scrunch up a paper towel or tissue, whatever you've got closest to you, whatever you've got in the house rather, and you're just going to kind of blot it. So you just press it on top of the wet areas and it will soak that up so that you don't have to worry about it ripping your paper. So I'm just going to turn my toucan around here so that I can reach up here nice and easily. Okay, spreading it out. I love these paints. They're so cool. So pretty. I don't know if you can see the shimmers in them, but it's a really special paint. But they come in like these little glass bottles, and they're very small, and they're, like I said earlier, they're really expensive. But definitely worth the investment. Alright. So you got that one right in the leaf there, but that's okay. We're on to the bottom now. So I've nearly caught up. Got it all done. Get it right up to the branch. It's looking really good. I hope you guys like toucans. I do. I think they're a really beautiful bird. And very bright. Alright. So what you're going to do, guys, you're going to finish up your background and then you're going to let it dry. If you are a bit impatient, just be blotting it as you're going along and it will dry super fast. So just use that piece of paper and tissue paper or whatever you've got to blot with, and you know, make sure that it's not too wet. It doesn't have to be totally dry, but just so it's not got puddles in it. And then you'll be able to be ready to move on to the next step with me. So almost finished here, just coloring it in. And don't forget, guys, to send in your artwork. I didn't receive any from last month, and I would really like to. So make sure you send it in so that I can see what you're up to, okay? And if you need help, don't forget to ask me, because I would love to help you. All right. There we go. All right, I'm happy with that. So now I've got my background in. It's looking good. And I'm going to move over to be using a smaller brush. Now you could use a brush that is really fine like this one, which is one of my favorite brushes. So I'm going to use this. Now just remember when you're painting to kind of, don't push all the way down like this to the gold. You're just using it, the tip of the bristles. So let's start with this side of the painting upside down. We're going to do some of the leaves. So the first thing I want you to do, guys, is just fill in your first leaf with a lighter green. Now you can do your leaves nice and light. You could have them all be the exact same color. You could do this any way you want. But what I want to show you is how you can make two tones on one leaf, using two different types of green on one leaf. It is easy to do, and I'm sure you probably already know how to do it, but I love the way it looks with the greens, so I just want to show you how I do it so that you can practice at home if you want. Okay, so let me just get that in there. So what we're going to do is, can you see that good? So you've got one tone of green, and I'm going to dip my brush into a little bit of blue, and I'm just going to go around the edge, the tip of the the tip of the leaf, and I'm kind of blending it into the green underneath and scrubbing it almost so it brings up the other color too, and then it gets lighter towards the end. So now it looks really cool. So now you've got this one leaf that's got two different tones of green in it. Looks really cool. So basically you're going to fill up all your leaves just like that, guys. You're going to put in the lighter color first, and then if you don't have to have darker colors on all of the leaves, sometimes I'll just do it on a few of them, but if you want to do it on all of them, you can. Just, you know, be mindful of how it's looking. You don't want them all to look exactly the same. Maybe you want some of them to look a bit lighter. So what you can do also is add a little bit of what? What can you add to your green to make it lighter? So we could add yellow. So let's see what it looks like if we add a bit of yellow to the next one. So we're going to do nice yellow leaf, and then we're going to add a little bit of green. It still looks pretty yellow to me, so I'm going to add some more green. So now it's like kind of like a limey green. And you can just decide, guys, like I usually do all of my leaves kind of the background color the same and then go in and make some lighter, some darker. So you can do that too. But it's definitely, I love this picture. I love this animal, this bird. I love it because I love bright colors. So I want to use as brighter colors as possible. I don't like to use the darker colors like the browns and the blacks on here because I want to have as much vibrant color as possible. So I try and steer away from that. I'm going to have a brown branch, but trying to make sure that my leaves all stay nice and bright. And my bird, well, I'm going to put lots of color on that in just a minute. So, alright, so there we go. We got that branch in first. It looks pretty cool. And then we're going to look at our bird. So I'm going to use my flat, smaller brush, and I'm going to use some yellow, and I'm going to paint inside of this area, nice and bright. Now, if you wanted to do a brown bird, brown toucan, guys, you can. It doesn't have to look exactly the same as mine, and it doesn't have to be what a traditional toucan would look like. You can paint it however way you want. It's important for you to listen to my techniques and to learn together, but if you want to use different colors, you are more than welcome to. Alright, so I'm just going to do a nice bright yellow head. Like that. It's looking pretty good, guys. What are you guys up to? How are you doing, Tyler, at home? How are you doing, Emerson and Marley and Jones and Ashwarya? Who else do we have? We have Luciana, Lucia. We have a lot of you. Jillian Hoyle. There's a whole bunch of you guys. So what do you think to that? That looks cool, right? So then we're going to use, let's go for kind of like a purpley color. So we could do a purple, well, that was a bit yucky. We're going to use purple for the head, top of the head, just like this. You guys could switch these colors up though. If you want your head to be red, that would have looked cool if I'd have done red, but I didn't. Gonna do purple and yellow because those are the main colors of the giggling pig, which I'm sure you know if you've ever been to the studio. What color is the floor? Izzy, what color is the floor is? It is purple and yellow. And what color are the chairs? Tyler, what color are the chairs? Purple and yellow. So maybe that's why I picked it, because I missed the studio. So there you go. He's got his little purple stripe on his head. And because his head's purple, I'm going to do purple wings because I want it to kind of flow nice. So it all looks good. This one doesn't have the wings. I didn't decorate this one with the feathers. But if you want to do your feathers different colors, what you could do is choose your color, like your purple or red or whatever, and just do different shades of the same color on the leaves. It will make it really look pretty cool because it will show depth, and it will make it stand out nicely, all the different leaves. I mean, the different feathers. So try that and send me a picture so I can see. Alright. So here we go. Gonna fill in this side. Just like that. Alright. And then what we're going to do with the background of his tummy is we're going to, let me see if I can just quickly get some red. We're going to kind of wash over as best as I can in a light red. And actually, guys, it's probably easier to just paint the whole belly with the red or whatever color you choose, but do it very, very lightly. And then what will happen is when you want to paint over the patterns with different colors, it will still work. So just kind of keep it nice and light, super light, like a wash. Instead of it being too solid, I'm just gonna kind of wash over it all. Just like this. That looks really cool. All right, that looks good, doesn't it? Okay, so let's have a look at the beak. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna let that tummy dry, and then we'll add some more color in the patterns in just a minute. So I'm gonna put a bit of green in his beak, a little bit of blue, kind of darker blue than the background though, guys, else it's just gonna blend right into the sky and it won't stand out. So we're gonna put nice dark, rich blue. And just pull it towards the end of the beak, just like this. It looks really tropical now. All right, and then I'm gonna add, let me see, a bit of purple in the tip of the beak. And you guys can work on your painting after you've done your background. I would suggest doing all of the leaves next. Like pick an area and work on it. But you can go at your own, flow around the picture, whatever works best for you guys. You don't have to do it exactly the same as me, the direction that I move in. Whatever feels most natural to you. You're just gonna kind of go like that. So whatever works for you. Alright, so I'm just going to do that on the beak. And I'm going to put a little bit of orange right in there. So you see when I touched it, it kind of ran into the blue, but it looks really cool. I like the way it did that. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of orange right here on the face. Just like that. That looks cool. I'm going to put some more yellow right in here, and then really water it down and spread it like this. And any areas where you've got to put black, guys, you might want to just use a Sharpie. It might just be a bit easier as long as your paper's not too wet, which mine kind of is right now. But like the eye, it's probably easier to use a Sharpie for the eye than it is to paint it. So you kind of, you know what your abilities are, what you're capable of. So if you feel comfortable using paint to do the eye, then go for it. But at least you know you have another option if you're worried about that. All right. So now let's have a look at my branch. So I'm gonna get some brown, and I'm just gonna, remember, don't put a lot on your brush. Like if you want your watercolor to be really light, you're gonna use more water. And if you want it to be really rich and dark, then you're going to use less water. So you can kind of switch it up throughout the picture. If some areas you want to stand out more, then use less water. And in some other areas you might want it to be really, really light, then you're just going to add the more water. Okay? But this is, I'm happy with it. It's looking good. But under the bird, more likely to have what? What are you likely to have under the bird? A shadow. You're likely to have a shadow. So we're going to make it darker under. And then when it stretches out away from the bird, we'll make it lighter. And then that is a good way of showing that the bird is leaving a shadow. Alright, there we go. It's looking good, guys. There we have it. Love it. Alright, guys, so I'm going to let you guys kind of paint your leaves and do all that without me doing it in front of you. But just remember, when you're doing your leaves, use a lighter color at the bottom, and then you can add your darker green over the top. And to be honest with you, if you don't want your leaves to be green, maybe you're going for a really funky bright look, you could use whatever color you wanted, just use the same technique. So if you're doing purple leaves, you would use light purple on the bottom and then make it darker to go over the edges. So good luck, and I can't wait to see what that looks like. I'm actually just going to paint these last couple of leaves with you because I've almost finished, so I might as well. Good luck with your paintings, guys, and remember, when you're painting, go slow. I paint fast because, like I said to you earlier, I already know what I'm doing. But if you guys go nice and slow and really think about where you're putting the colors, it will help. And remember that if you do make a mistake, try not to get frustrated. Either go at it again, do another version of it, or just let it be a mistake and move on. I do lots of things that I'm not always happy about when I'm painting, but I get used to it, so it doesn't bother me as much as it used to. I'm just going to give him some little black legs, and let's have a look, and then I'll be done. So little black, oh actually, I'm not done. I wanted to show you how to add colour to the tummy once it's dried. So now it's dry, I could show you what that will look like. So let's have a look. If you were wanting to add, let's say, orange to the circles, just use a little bit. And once the tummy's dry, it's not going to run into the next area and the next area. So can you see that? It's just staying where it's supposed to, right wherever I put it. So you can fill it up. You can either do rows of one color and the next row a different color. You could do whatever you wanted. I'm gonna do some little blue dots here. They're so cute. Just like that. But please, guys, give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know if it was fun to paint. And then show me, because I really want to see what you're doing and how your pictures are coming out. So please email it to me. Okay? So thank you so much, guys, for joining me and creating with me. I'm definitely enjoying having this time with you guys and seeing you on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. That's really nice and fun, and I hope that you're enjoying it too. I love seeing all of you. Molly, Jones, who else do I see on a Tuesday? I see Luciana, I see Jillian Hoyle, I see, who else? There's so many of you that are in. There's Izzy, there's Tyler's my Tuesday kid, but you're not on the lives. I know you have to watch them afterwards. But yes, guys, thank you to all of you for following along and having fun with me. I love it. And that's it. My picture is almost complete. I'm going to put a couple of these little blue dots right here, and then I'm done. So, as you can see, he's nice and colourful. He's got great shimmer to him. And this was really fun. So thank you so much for creating a toucan with me today. I'm going to take a photograph of this for you. So if you want me to send you this picture, guys, actually I will send it. I'll send a picture along with the video so that you could even ask mom or dad or someone to print it out for you, or you can you know, pull it up on the iPad when you're drawing so that you have something to reference. Okay? It's been a pleasure, as always, and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow, because I am filming this on a Monday and tomorrow's our class. So I'll see you all really, really soon. Okay, bye guys.